Every government says, do not travel to this country. We needed to get some new clothes to make sure we show respect to where we are. Old Bagan is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is the #1 tourist site in Myanmar. There are over 2,000 temples and pagodas here, built as early as the 9th century. We hired Ong to drive us around the region for the day. The temples are beautiful and range from small to huge. You can go inside some of the temples, but you have to be careful. The stone floor is very hot and you cannot wear shoes. There are so many different Buddhas here, and you could spend hours just wandering through the temples. We had this huge spread of Burmese food for lunch. Betel nut is very popular in Myanmar. Ong always has one in his mouth, and Zach wanted to try it. This is Zach's 3rd time trying it, and he still doesn't like it. We've seen these stone jugs full of water all over Myanmar, and anyone can just take from them. Then Ong took us to this viewing point, and the video does not do it justice. There are temples and stupas as far as the eye can see. We are on a quest to visit every UNESCO World Heritage Site. We are in Cambodia at one of the most famous sites in the world. The driver picked us up at 4:30 a.m. and drove us to Angkor Wat. There's so many people here trying to get that perfect sunrise photo, but that could never be us. This place is huge. I never realized how many different areas and temples there are, but I guess it makes sense because it's considered the largest religious structure in the world. It was built as a Hindu temple for the god Vishnu in the early 12th century, and it took 28 years to build. At the end of the 12th century, it became a Buddhist temple, and that has continued to this day. Pro tip, if you go at sunrise, it seems like everyone starts at the same spot. So if you go quickly through the first part, you can see the other parts of the complex without crowds. At most of the other spots we visited, there were only 2 or 3 other people there. Back in Siem Reap, we grabbed some lunch and took a much-needed nap. This is how we were able to visit the Great Wall of China without a Chinese tourist visa. We're Haley and Zach, and we're on a quest to visit every UNESCO World Heritage Site. Right outside Beijing is the Great Wall of China. We came to the Mu Tian Yu section and took this chairlift up to the wall. The views up here are stunning, and after over 50 countries, this is one of the most incredible places we have ever visited. We came to China on a 144-hour transit visa. Check out the first video in this playlist for more information on that. We climbed up the wall as far as we could and then took the toboggan back down. This is the most underrated country in Europe, and it's not even close. We took a shared taxi up into the Caucasus Mountains to our 78th UNESCO World Heritage Site. The village of Ushguli is the highest settlement in Europe. This 9th century church overlooks the village, and it has beautiful frescoes that are deteriorating. These huge dogs are Caucasian shepherds, and they are all over the Svaneti region of Georgia. For lunch we had this pie stuffed with meat and onions called kudari, and harcho, a soup with rice and meat. Zach bonded with this black dog, and this other dog definitely felt left out. The dog followed us around and tried to come into the taxi with us. Sadly, Zach had to pull him out, and we could not take him with us. As we drove away, all the dogs chased after our car. Travel with us to the Stonehenge of Asia. But first, coffee and breakfast. I ordered noodles, and Zach got a traditional Lao dish called larb, $5. We rented a motorbike so we could drive ourselves around the plain of jars, $9. The entrance fee for the first jar site was $3. There are over 90 plain of jar sites. Each site has anywhere from 1 to 400 stone jars. It was difficult to find the entrance to the second jar site. We wandered between the rice terraces, and eventually we found the site, $3. This was our favorite site. It was a tranquil meadow, and there was nobody else there. No one knows exactly what the jars were used for. Some archaeologists think they were used to store food, while others think they were for burials. We visited one last site under this huge tree, $3. We drove back to Pon Savan for dinner, $7. Follow for more budget travel.